One of the biggest misconceptions about cryptocurrency is that buying Bitcoin is your finish line. In reality, buying crypto is really just the beginning of your learning process. And I want you to think about it like those days back when you were 15 or 16 or whatever age, if you're from another country and you're learning to drive. But, your dad, your uncle, your mom, whoever is trying to show you the ropes. Look, they buy you a car or you work hard and to buy a car, and that car doesn't automatically teach you how the road works, how traffic flows, how to get where you're going safely, or even how to operate the vehicle. Crypto, exact same way. There are wallets, blockchains, decentralized exchanges, and even DeFi applications that we're going to talk about later, not in today's video, that all work together. Now, one thing I've noticed over all the years is many DeFi and crypto tutorials, they jump straight into clicking the buttons. Click here, connect this, approve that, get in 10x, 100x. It's like going to the casino. They don't want you to see the outside. And that dopamine hits you, and you're just coming back for more. These people never explain to you truly what's happening behind the scenes. And as a teacher, I truly believe that if you understand why you're doing something, you're going to remember it much longer than just copying somebody's clicks. We don't really run a signal channel here. Now, by the end of this lesson, you're going to understand the entire cryptoverse and all the different ecosystems that are involved, from your bank account and how that money can be transferred all the way to decentralized exchanges and let you become the bank. So we're going to first start somewhere very familiar, and that is your own bank, right? Right now, if you want to invest in cryptocurrency, your money is probably coming from a checking or a savings account somewhere in the world. So if your bank stores dollars in your country's currency, it's also going to process transfers and act as your trusted middleman. The problem is that banks don't connect you directly to the blockchain. So there's no way to go from bank to MaxFi or any other DeFi system without going through a series of steps. Now, this is where centralized exchanges step in. Think of an exchange kind of like an airport, right? Your bank will help you get to the airport because you got to have money to pay for the ticket that the bank's holding for you. The exchange is helping you enter that world of cryptocurrency. So it's kind of like the airplane taking you where you need to go, right? So the job is simple. You're converting your assets, you're converting your dollars into digital assets, whether that's USDC, USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, it does not matter. So the first word I wanted to talk about is a centralized exchange, like the one on the board. This is Kraken, right? A centralized exchange, obviously, they're companies that are helping people buy, sell, trade cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency derivatives. Now, that also includes RWAs, but we'll get into the more advanced stuff a little bit later. Now, imagine exchanging US dollars for euros before traveling to Europe. So people do this sometimes, right? The exchange is handling the conversion of the two currencies, right? A crypto exchange is doing the exact same thing, but instead of dollars and euros, you're exchanging dollars for Bitcoin or dollars for Ethereum or some other cryptocurrency. Now, here's where beginners are going to stop, and they're going to lose everything because they're going to keep their crypto in exchange like Kraken, crypto.com, like Gemini, or maybe even some of the smaller non-KYC ones like Blowfin and Lbank that we do have affiliate relationships with. But just understand that if you leave all your crypto on the exchange, you are trusting that exchange to custody your crypto. If they go under, your crypto will go under with it. And that's where we need to talk about one of the most important crypto concepts, and that is self-custody and self-custody wallets, right? Now, a self-custody wallet could be the base app wallet. It could be Rabby wallet even, or even Phantom wallet, right? These are all called hot wallets, right? But you also have cold storage wallets, things like Ledger and Tangent wallet. You've probably heard the saying of all those things, not your keys, not your crypto. Do you even know what it means? Not your keys, not your crypto. When look, when your cryptocurrency stays on the exchange, they control the private keys, which means they own the crypto, not you, right? They control the assets for you. Look, a crypto wallet doesn't actually store your cryptocurrency. Okay. Your crypto is always on the blockchain. The wallet is just storing the key, the private key, to prove that you are the owner of the assets. Think of it like the combination to a safe or a key that opens up a safe, right? Or you can even think of it like the wallet is the keys to your house. The furniture isn't inside the key. The key simply proves that you have permission to enter, right? The crypto wallet works the same way. So, if you're enjoying this lesson so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we also have a free Telegram group that you can join and interact with the community and myself. My goal is truly to help you understand crypto, not just memorize all these steps. Now, I want you to understand that your wallet connects directly to the blockchain, right? Think of the blockchain as a giant public accounting ledger, right? Every single transaction on that blockchain is recorded. Anyone and everyone can verify it. But no single company owns it. Instead of trusting a bank, you're actually trusting math, cryptography, and thousands upon thousands of computers working together usually to validate all the transactions. You look, there are different blockchains available. You have Ethereum, Solana, Base, Sway, Hyperliquid. You have layer twos other than Base, such as Arbitrum, Optimism, and so many others out there. These different blockchain networks each have their own strengths, their own ecosystems, and their own weaknesses. And they're all different. Now, once your crypto is in that wallet, and we'll have videos later to explain exactly how to set up a wallet and transfer cryptocurrencies. But once that crypto is in a wallet, you no longer need a centralized exchange anymore like Kraken, right? Or any of the ones that I have affiliate links to. Instead, you can trade directly from your wallet into what's called a decentralized exchange or DEX. Now, my favorite, Aerodrome, is on my screen. A DEX is something that allows people to swap cryptocurrencies directly from their wallets, and but they're using a smart contract, not people in a company, right? So imagine that Uniswap is like a vending machine, right? You're not negotiating with an employee about the price. You simply insert your money, make your selection, machine follows a set of rules, pairs it up, drops the candy or the snack into the bottom that you can pick up, right? A smart contract can actually, in a sense, works the same way. It's automatically following all the rules written into the code no matter what, and nobody can usually change those rules. That's why it's always important, and we'll talk about this later when we get into our research videos, to read a project's white paper and understand what it's about, what its value proposition is or isn't, and what's the thesis. Now, swapping tokens on a protocol like Uniswap is just the beginning. Once you're comfortable using a wallet, you can begin exploring decentralized finance. This could include borrowing and staking on platforms such as Aave, providing liquidity on protocols such as, and later we can even talk about staking assets and providing liquidity such as on DEXs such as Orca on Solana, Radium, how to use aggregators to that like search out the best DEX like Jupiter on Solana. There are also aggregators for EVM change. These applications allow your assets to do more than just simply sit in a wallet. There's even more complicated and advanced ones out there because these can potentially generate income while you maintain control of your assets, right? So these applications allow us to be the bank. And you're going to run through the same progression no matter what chain we're talking about. This is an example for Solana. We could also use an example for Ethereum. You would create a Kraken account, attach your bank, and buy some Solana or USDC or Bitcoin or whatever. And then you can move that crypto to the Phantom wallet, which is usable on the Solana blockchain. And then on the Solana blockchain, you can go to the Jupiter aggregator, and it's looking into all the different DEXs on there and finding you the best swaps. You can swap, trade, withdraw, and do so many different things with those assets. They offer perps, they offer lending, they offer all kinds of stuff on the blockchain. This is why I get so interested in DeFi and Web3, right? So you would go from Kraken to Phantom to Solana using the DEX Jupiter. And then what do we end on? The DEXs. And you stay in control. You own your keys, you own the crypto, you own the trade, and you own the decision. That is what crypto is all about. Now, you could exchange Phantom for Rabby, Solana for Base or Ethereum, and Jupiter for another DEX aggregator or a DEX such as Aerodrome Finance or Uniswap. Now, when we get a little bit later into the videos, we will even get into our final steps where we talk about, after we've made the swaps into the DEX, is getting actually involved in DeFi lending or providing liquidity, and then how to use intelligent protocols such as MaxFi, Crystal Finance, or many of the plethora that are out there. So I would like to quickly review what we learned in this video. Your bank is what is connecting you to a centralized exchange, right? Because you have to onboard money into the cryptoverse, and a centralized exchange will help you purchase that cryptocurrency. After that, you could move it into a self-custody wallet, and that gives you ownership over those assets. The blockchain also is recording your transactions. Now, once you get a little more versed, you can use a decentralized exchange to exchange directly from your wallet without using a centralized exchange or your bank, and DeFi applications on the blockchain that will put your assets to work, which is much more advanced, but we'll talk about in a later video. Now, once you understand that flow, you have a much easier time navigating everything else we're going to cover. So if you found this lesson helpful, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube for more educational content. And in the crypto and DeFi space, you can also access my free course, recommended tools, and community links all below. And in our next lesson, we'll talk about how crypto works and how to think like an investor, because mindset is also important in the cryptocurrency space. There are a few principles with that can help you avoid emotional decisions. And I can't wait to see you in the next lesson. Peace.